Alright, so the next Elly Ameling video I'm going to be responding to is her discussion of breath. And just to give you some context, I had quite a bit to say about this one, and quite a bit stuck out to me. I'm going to try and condense it as much as possible for both of our sakes. Also, I regret to inform you that my co-host from the last couple of videos started barking and walked out of the room, or I had to let her out of the room, so I apologize for that. Unless you found it obnoxious, in which case you're welcome. So, breath. One of the things she says is don't take deep, active breaths all the time. This kind of goes to a concept that Dr. Brooks was telling me about when I had a brief lesson with him a while back. He describes it as not overfilling the tank and not taking more breath than you need to finish a phrase, because then you're left with excess breath at the end that you need to get rid of in order to efficiently get a new breath. And all that does is waste energy and effort and makes it more difficult for you in the long run. That was a problem I didn't know I had until a couple months ago. She says there's no need to show how long your breath can last. You're showing off in plenty of other ways. You don't need to show us, unless it's like a crazy long phrase and it calls for it, but there's no need to just kind of watch this and then just go for seconds. It often reflects the poem in the phrasing, and that goes back to really taking ownership of the language and expressing it. You've heard me say this 100 million times. What else stood out to me? Quick breaths. This one really stood out to me because this is something I struggle with. She says, when taking quick breaths, take time from the preceding phrase so that the onset isn't late, because consonants come before the beat and the onset of the pitch comes on the beat itself. I struggled with, and I struggle, present tense, with quick phrases where I need to like da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. So I'm definitely going to need to try that, probably in Carmelites. They're not too fast, but there's some pretty quick entrances that I need to be mindful of. So, but my problem is I'm always trying to be so faithful to what's written, so it's like I can't cut this short, but in that instance it's okay to. In regards to stage fright, she says it's building a connection with an audience so that they can forgive minor mistakes. And that is something that really resonates with me as a theater guy, because especially like in live theater, but especially in community theater, no matter what, the audience is rooting for you. Unless they're just a bunch of jerks, but that rarely happens. In most cases, they are actively rooting for you because they don't want to see you fail, because then it's awkward for them, too. They want to see a good performance. They want to see the best that you have to offer. And the same goes for song recitals. She says, know your part by heart. She talks about how a lot of people have music, and that goes back to, as I've said, taking ownership. And that's something that my acting teacher this year has been saying, taking ownership of the text, knowing it front to back, and truly investing yourself and giving yourself over to it. And that's how you can have that connection with the audience as well. You go out there, you show them you, in my opinion. You go out to the song recital, you show them you take a bow, you do whatever, and then when the song starts, you show them what you can do. And you show them your character, and you show them all the work you put into this, and that is what makes you so endearing to an audience, in my opinion. Then she says, concentrate on the task, which is conveying the composer and poet's message, in her opinion. And then she says, then there's no need for stage fright. At the most basic level, I understand where she's going with that, but as someone that has difficulty with being under pressure and gets anxious in a lot of circumstances, I say, if only it were that simple. If only we're like, I have a job to do, therefore I'm not nervous. It's more like, I have a job to do, I hope I don't mess up. What if I mess up? They're going to hate me if I mess up. I'm going to hate me if I mess up. It turns into this whole thing. So as someone who has an overactive mind and thoughts like that, I hear you. I kind of agree, but it's not that simple. Other than that, this was a very interesting video to watch.